So, the banners for version 5.7 have finally been revealed by a very reliable leaker, and we now have a clear look at who the next 4 5-star characters will be. The best part? This isn't some vague riddle or half-confirmed rumor. This comes from HomDGCat, who's been consistently accurate with multiple major leaks in the past. So, who are the main stars of version 5.7? The 4 confirmed 5-star characters are SKIRK, Emilie, Mavuika, and Shenhe. That's 2 cryo units, 1 dendro unit, and the Pyro Archon. If you know anything about these characters, you'll already see the common thread forming here. But let's break it down by likely banner phases, so you can understand who's coming first and why it matters. Let's begin with SKIRK. She's almost definitely launching in Phase 1, and that isn't just guesswork, it makes logical and commercial sense. She's a brand new 5-star character, and Genshin almost always places new characters in the first phase to maximize hype, sales, and team synergy. Plus, if we go back to the Abyss buffs for Floor 12, the math checks out. The first half of Floor 12 gives all characters a massive 75% cryo damage bonus, and the Frozen Moon Blessing adds bonus damage every time a cryo reaction is triggered. Not putting her first would go against Hoyoverse usual logic. She's likely going to be the centerpiece of 5.7, no surprise there. And by the way, if you're wondering what the best teams are for SKIRK, you're not alone. With her kit now fully leaked, it's already clear which characters are going to bring out her full potential, and which comps you should build around her once she drops. So here, very short, her best teams. For pure performance, the current best-in-slot team looks like this: SKIRK, Furina, Yelan, and Escoffier. This team is absolutely stacked with synergy. Now, if you don't have Yelan or you're missing Escoffier, don't worry. Shenhe is a fantastic replacement. And what about free-to-play players? Good news, there's a very viable F2P friendly lineup. Try running SKIRK, Rosaria, Xingqiu, and Charlotte. It's accessible, balanced, and surprisingly effective for most content, even Abyss. Let me know in the comments if I should do a full SKIRK team guide, with artifact builds, rotations, constellations, and team comps for every budget. Because with how flexible her kit is, there's definitely a lot to explore. But now let's talk about who's coming next to her in Phase 1. Because there, we'll almost certainly see Mavuika. Now, here's why this makes perfect sense. Archons in Genshin Impact consistently receive their first rerun 3 to 4 patches after their debut. Raiden, Nahida, Furina, all of them followed that exact pattern. And Mavuika? She released in version 5.3. That places her first rerun exactly in 5.7, which lines up perfectly with how Hoyoverse has handled every Archon rerun so far. But there's even more supporting this idea. The Floor 12 Abyss buffs include a massive 75% bonus to Knight's Ally damage, a very specific buff that applies directly to Mavuika's kit. It's the kind of detail that doesn't just happen by accident. When Hoyoverse gives a unique damage type a direct buff, it's usually to boost visibility and performance of a featured unit. So, while she doesn't directly synergize with freeze comps or support SKIRK in any mechanical way, her return in Phase 1 makes perfect sense from a design and banner rotation perspective. She's the Archon, she's due for a rerun, and the Spiral Abyss is literally handing her a 75% damage buff. You don't get clearer signs than that. So that gives us SKIRK and Mavuika in Phase 1, which leaves Emilie and Shenhe for Phase 2. Let's talk about Shenhe first, because honestly, it's about time. It has been over 760 days since her last banner. That makes her the character with the longest wait time between reruns in the entire game. And no, her inclusion in the Liyue Chronicled Wish banner a few versions ago doesn't count. Shenhe has been off the radar for way too long, and if Genshin is ever going to bring her back, this is the moment. Why? Because SKIRK is cryo. Shenhe buffs cryo like crazy. Her kit is literally only designed to enhance cryo damage. Pairing her as a rerun in the same version as SKIRK, and in the very patch where cryo is at its most empowered, is not just a good idea. It's the only logical one. Also, if you weren't able to get Escoffier in 5.6, she's also a very good choice. Phase 2 is the right place to put her, not just to separate her from SKIRK and Mavuika sales-wise, but to give her a well-deserved dedicated run. And by the way, after she is getting her rerun, Ganyu will be the next character who has the longest time since her last rerun. Let's see if she can break Shenhe's record. I'm pretty optimistic because her last rerun was 720 days ago. But now let's talk about the second rerun in this phase. Emilie. Now, Emilie may not have had to wait as long as Riosley for her first rerun, but her time has come. She was introduced all the way back in version 4.8, and since then, nothing. No rerun, no banner, no spotlight. But also here, there is a very logical reason why now is the best time for her rerun. The reason is called Kinich. Yes, Kinich, his go-to support for his best team, which is a burning team, is Emilie. And placing her one version after Kinich just makes so much sense. So with Emilie and Shenhe slotted in Phase 2, the banner balance feels complete. Phase 1 is all about freeze meta dominance, and Phase 2 brings a more flexible lineup with rare returns and elemental depth. And now for the bonus surprise, Dahlia. Hamdi Cat also leaked that Dahlia, a new Hydro Sword user, will debut as a 4-star during version 5.7. Dahlia has shielding capabilities and support tools that make him an ideal partner for SKIRK. Not only does this make Phase 1 even more appealing, but it continues the pattern we've seen in previous patches, pairing new 5-stars with synergistic 4-stars right out of the gate. Now, just to clarify, while the characters themselves have been reliably leaked, the phase order is still technically speculative. The SKIRK and Mavuika guess is based on extremely strong logic, Abyss synergy, and Hoyoverse patterns. But remember, leaks are leaks. Things can change, and order isn't confirmed until the official live stream. Still, if you're looking to plan your polls, this is probably the most realistic layout we're going to get pre-announcement. So here's a quick recap for everyone who skips to the conclusion. The version 5.75 stars are SKIRK, Mavuika, Emilie, and Shenhe. Likely in Phase 1 are going to be SKIRK plus Mavuika and Dahlia as a 4-star. And in likely Phase 2, we can expect Emilie and Shenhe. We've got reruns that make sense both narratively and commercially. We've got a new cryo character supported by a cryo buffer and a Hydro Sword user. We've got the longest delayed rerun in Genshin history finally coming home. If you're a Freeze team enjoyer, 5.7 might be your dream patch. Let me know down below who you're saving for, or if you're pulling SKIRK no matter what. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.